Hello and welcome to the final stretch of 2024 in my jewellery business. Now, for those of you that are new here, my name is Leanne. I'm a metalsmith with a business called Leanne Allison Designs, where I design and create sustainable jewellery for eco-conscious souls. Now, I did Vlogmas before Christmas. I did 24 videos, and if you're interested in any of those, they're just sitting there on my channel. You are more than welcome to watch. For those of you that had been following along through Vlogmas, I did mention a couple of times that I was hoping to do some videos with footage from Christmas Day and also Boxing Day, or Christbox as we have called it this year. And that didn't happen. I didn't get much footage at all. There is a little bit of footage from Christmas Day of the pool and things like that. And I think there's a photograph of me with an inflatable unicorn ring around me. I believe at one point I was like, look at me, I'm a unicorn. But yeah, we just had so much fun. So Christmas Day, we were with Doug's family. We had lunch, we went in the pool, we just had a lot of fun. And then on Boxing Day, Christbox for my family, we were at my parents' house. It was really warm, so we were inside, and I got some photos, but I didn't really get any footage. Basically, I didn't do what I wanted to do, but yeah, we were just super busy. Then on Friday, we had some downtime. It was lovely. We put together our new veggie pod that my parents gave us. Next year, we want to be a lot more self-sufficient. We grew a lot of our own vegetables this year, but we really want to up the ante next year. In our household, we are very much low tox, plastic free as much as possible. Just reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse, and just rethinking things and doing things a different way. So yes, now what I want to do going forward with my videos is to do a lot more vlogs, because I really enjoyed the vlog aspect. So I want them to be a combination of talking head stuff like I'm doing now, some behind the scenes, and also just some B-roll stuff, you know, if I'm out near the beach or if I'm out on a walk, just in my garden, things like that. So that's what I'm aiming for in 2025. So today it is really important for me to get some planning done. I like to do my planning between Christmas and New Year. I love to hit the ground running when the new year clicks over. And so I'm sitting here, I've got my cup of tea in my Auntie Corn cup. Now, an Auntie Corn is like a normal aunt, but way more awesome. My niece and nephew are 19 and 21, and they still think I'm an Auntie Corn, so that is great. But as long as I've got my cup of tea, we are fine, and it's good tea too. Nice. All right, so as I said, planning. Now, my word for the year for next year is elevate. I came up with it before Christmas, and I thought I'm just going to sit with it for a little while, see how I feel about it. I still love it. I still think it's an awesome word, so I'm running with it. For me, elevate is about elevating the kinds of pieces I create in my jewellery business, elevating the platforms that I use and the venues that I sell at, and also elevating my financial goals, like sort of going higher, going bigger, you know, elevating basically. So a lot of my planning at the moment is around my new collection. Now, for those of you that are new, you probably don't know I have a new collection. You may not even know I had an original collection. So my original pieces were mostly just sterling silver, always made with sustainable and recycled materials, mostly earrings in geometric shapes, so squares, circles, ovals, things like that. And you know, I did a few rings, bangles, but before Christmas, I started on this new collection and I fell in love with it. And I have just been loving every minute of it. So I sort of put a few pieces out there for some advice and just to sort of gauge the reaction, and people love it. I get so many comments when I wear this one particular pair of earrings. I've got people loving all of the pieces. I've already sold 3 pieces. So I'm really excited about just the way this new collection is coming together and the way it looks like it's going to go going forward. I also spoke to one of my mentors, and she said that she hasn't seen anything like it before. She loves it. She really thinks that I'm onto something special and that I should just go with it. So I'll show you a little bit about it and explain it. So basically, what I do is I take a piece of brass and I cut it into a shape. I then paint that shape with what they call a watercolor ground. Now that turns the surface into something that's similar to watercolor paper. I'm then able to paint over the top using watercolor paints, which I think are fabulous because you were able to reconstitute them. You just spray them with water and they come to life again, unlike things like acrylics and oils and stuff like that. Then after I've painted it all, I sand the back so that it's got sort of a more scratched industrial kind of look to it. And then I seal the piece with a sealer to keep in all of the color and to give the piece longevity so they will last a long time. So I've done some gum leaves in large. I've also done them in small. Some of the pieces will have just your normal earring hooks, which I make myself. I've done some daisies, and this is the kind of signature style that I want to go with. So a longer dangle on a stud finding. Now I make these stud findings myself. That's my signature texture, and I make the whole thing from scratch. I've also done some toadstools and the pièce de résistance, some bees. These get compliments every time I wear them. I've got some waratahs cut out. There are some budgies out there that are curing. I also did some pink daisies. So I've got plenty on the go at the moment and I'm loving them. I'm really, really loving them. So when it comes to planning, I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? So my objective for next year is to get into some of the bigger design markets. So I had to really think about that and how I was going to sort of approach that. And I thought, right, what I need to do is some of those applications need to be in before the middle of February. So we're talking, I want to have it all done by the end of January. And I thought, right, what I want to do is have my umbrella. So the collection will be the watercolor collection and then have sub collections under that. But I didn't want to get going on sub collections straight away. I wanted to have 10 showcase pieces that I'm able to photograph and use those as the photos for my applications. So what I need to do is sit down and work out which 10 pieces are going to be my showcase pieces. And then I also need to have a look at the sub collections. So the sub collections, I'm looking at things like maybe botanicals, Australiana, critters, things like that. And within the sub collections, I need to think about the number of pieces I'm going to have. So the number of statement pieces, maybe some simpler options or designs, and also some limited edition or what I like to call experimentals. Experimentals will be ones where I paint it and I may love it, but I hate painting it or it's hard to paint. So it becomes an experiment and then I just sell off that one piece. Or it may be that I paint it and it is not easy or fun or whatever, or I just don't love it at all. Maybe I don't like cutting out the shape. Maybe it just doesn't look as great as I hoped it would. So with the experimentals, I can sell those off if I want to or scrap them. Limited editions, it may just be that I decide, okay, there's going to be one particular image or whatever that I'm going to do, and I may only do 2 or 3 pieces of that. So I also need to sit and look at the sub collections and work out how many of those pieces I want per collection. So I'm going to go and do that now, and then I will come back and chat a little bit more about planning that I'm doing. And then I also need to go and do some painting a little bit later on too. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, I am back and I have decided on my 10 showcase pieces. Of the pieces that I've decided on, I've realized that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are already painted and sealed. 2 of them I have cut out and either not painted or have just started painting. And 2 of them I still need to design, cut out, paint and seal. So I'm pretty close to having those 10 showcase pieces done. I'm hoping to have at least 8 of them complete by the start of the new year, and then spend the first week finishing those last couple of pieces off. I've also decided with my sub-collections, I'm going to do 3 to 4 core statement pieces. So they will be the much bigger pieces like the bees and things like that. 2 to 3 simpler options or designs. So that would be things like toadstools and daisies, things that are sort of fairly easily reproducible, because I don't want everything to be completely one of a kind, and I want to be able to carry some pieces through and have them there on a regular basis. It will be those smaller pieces that are probably going to be the ones that sell really well, and so I need to have some of those simpler options available. And then I'll do 1 to 2 limited editions or experimentals. It may be that I decide to have 1 or 2 limited editions and then there just happens to be an experimental, or if all the experimentals work out, they become the limited editions, or they may become the core statement pieces. So I've got that sorted. Now, another thing that I did is I looked at how I want to break up my quarters. When it comes to my financial goals, I am just going to run those the way I would any other things through the year. So the first quarter will obviously be January to March, then April to June, etc., etc. But when it comes to my work and my marketing, I've decided to split the year up a little bit differently. So I've decided that my first quarter will just be January and February, because my main focus during that time is to finish these core pieces and to apply for some of those bigger design markets. Now, I know that one of them, I don't need the application in until February, but I want to get them all done by the end of January. And I'm hoping to get them all done kind of by mid-January. So what I'll do now is I will go off, I will drink some more tea, and then I am going to have a look at a calendar for January and February and sort out, what I need to do and jot that down. Now, another thing I do want to do is to try and launch a new collection each. I think what I'd come up with originally was to launch 6 new collections in the year. What I'll do is see on a quarter by quarter or even month by month basis where I'm at, because when I get accepted into these bigger markets, I'll also need to spend some time creating stock for those markets. So it may be that one of the launches for a new collection or sub collection doesn't happen. It gets pushed back or pushed out, which means that I may end up with only 4 releases. But I would like to do at least 1 per quarter. And if I can get another couple in, that would be great. So what I'm going to do now is go off and have a look at those dates, and then I will come back to you shortly and explain where I'm going after that. Okay, so I've got some things set in my calendar now. So quarter one, as I said, was going to be January and February. And then I'm going to do March to May as quarter two. And I know that technically it's not the quarter that, everybody else would run by, but I think this is going to work better for me and how things will work in my business. Then quarter three, I've decided will be June to August. And then quarter four, I'm going to have running from September to November. And you're probably thinking, Leanne, there is no December. No, there is not. December in my business is quite an odd one. So for my main focus for September to November is to finalize another collection, sub-collection. It may be I've got all 6 done. This is my 6th one, or it may be that I've had to pare it back and I've only done 4 or 5. But it's also about preparing for the holiday season and focusing on those holiday marketing things and the promotions for that holiday period. December, it's more about just selling, keeping stock at shops and things like that, just stocking up where I need to. This year, I actually spent some time starting to create this new collection because sales were just down everywhere. And I had plenty of stock in the shops. It was just a matter of waiting until it started to sell. There wasn't much else I could do. I had changed pieces over to try and encourage sales, but we've really had a tough year here in Australia. Cost of living has been quite high, and jewellery has just been one of those things that people have. It's a nice to have, not a need to have. So I have sold some pieces, but I haven't done anywhere near as well as I would have in previous years. So September to November is that, getting those collections finalized and then focusing on those holiday marketing promotions. So then December is it's just that run into Christmas. I sell what I can, and then I just start planning for 2026. We haven't even got to 2025 yet. Ooh. In the beginning, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time on design and creation. So I'm hoping to have at least 10 hours a week to do that. I then also need time for photographing pieces and editing the photographs. And then I will have to do some social media and obviously update my email list. Once the year starts to progress, I'll be able to change up those times and spend less on creation and a little bit more on other things. Now, I have done a lot of work on my dream customer. I'm going to do another video about this because things have really changed for me. This new collection is going to have different people loving it. Now, for me, I love my original silver pieces, and I also love this new collection. I think it's gorgeous. But I know some of my customers that love these won't love these, and some of the new customers will love these and won't love these. So I've got an entirely new customer that I need to think about for this new collection. I need to also focus on the sustainability because it's easy to say how sustainable this is. It's not as easy to explain the sustainability of these. They're sustainable in the fact that it is still a metal that can be recycled infinitely. So brass and copper, this just happens to be a copper pair. I'm mostly doing it in brass now, but brass can be recycled over and over and over again. So all of my scraps I can get recycled. The pieces of brass that I buy are usually made from recycled metals originally. As I said, the watercolor, I can actually rejuvenate it by spraying it with water, and I can use it over and over and over again. Now, the sealer that I use is obviously not eco-friendly. I haven't been able to find an eco-friendly sealer, but the whole point is that once the sealer is sprayed on it, it means that, if little droplets of water go on there, it's not going to damage the design. As long as you don't use an abrasive on it, it will be fine. It means that the jewellery will last a long time. And it's metal. And everything else, all the other pieces, so the findings and things like that, they're all recycled sterling silver. So that sustainability aspect is still there, and I really want to push it because that is the main ethos of my business, sustainability. So that's how I'm going to break down my quarters. January and February, quarter one, then March to May, quarter two, June to August, quarter three, and September, October, November, quarter four. And December will just be on its own like an island. All right, I'm going to go and do some painting, and then I will come back and wrap up and tell you just a little bit more about what I'm going to do. I also need to sit and do some planning around just personal stuff for me. So my health, exercise, fitness. I need to get my fitness level back up again. I was quite unwell this year and it took its toll. So yeah, I might have a chat to ChatGPT and we'll work out sort of exercise, fitness, and I eat pretty well, but I need to eat a little bit better. This time of year is terrible because you're just eating leftovers and all sorts. But yeah, so I've got a fair bit going on at the moment. I need to then break everything down into sort of monthly and weekly. And with the content, I need to then do myself a content calendar. So then I can rotate through those things each month and keep my social media content diverse and engaging, I suppose. So yeah, and I need to sit and work out what videos I want to record for you guys. All right, I'm going to paint my bird of paradise and I might have a look and see if I can get started on the Waratahs. And yeah, then I'll come back and do a bit of a wrap up. I promise I will record some video of me painting. All right, I'll see you again in a minute. Okay, so I've done some painting and I painted some of the bird of paradise and then I decided I didn't like it. So I have sanded it back yet again. I'm not sure what I want. I think that's part of the problem. I need to sketch out how I want it to look first, just on other paper, not on the actual piece. So I've started to cover it again in watercolor ground and I'll have another look at it and see how it goes. And I've done sort of the first coat, like a base coat for the Waratah. There's still a lot of work to go on those, but I've started, so that's good because they are two of the pieces that are in that collection, the showcase pieces that I was talking about. So I've got a ton more planning I need to do, but I think at the moment I need to get these pieces finished for the showcase pieces for the applications. So that's probably my number one priority. So I'll work on that. And so for quarter one, January and February, finalize the 10 designs for the applications and then complete the botanicals, complete the applications. Well, finalizing these pieces is the most important, photographing them and editing the photos, then submitting the applications before their deadlines, and then in the remaining weeks I can complete the botanicals. So I'm going to have to jot down what I want in the botanicals. During that time I'm also going to have to do my social media focus, so I might sit down tonight and do a little bit of work on what my social media plan will be, my content plan. While these pieces dry, I can do a little bit more work on these shortly. They just need to dry a little bit more. These will need quite a few more coats. but I think I might just have a look at some pictures and then work out where I want to go with these. Okay, I think that's enough for today. You've probably heard enough of my planning. You've seen some random bits of painting. I am also going to go and watch my friend Claire's videos. She's doing Craftmas at the moment, which is really exciting. That's her excuse to do some craft over the Christmas period. And she's videoing some of the things that she's doing. So I'm going to watch some of her bits and pieces. All right. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, I hope that everything is going well for you on this run to the new year. Wish me luck. I've got plenty of work to do between now and mid-January, but I'm actually really excited about a lot of it. So have a wonderful day. I'm hoping to get another video up before the end of the year, but if I don't, I just want to wish you a happy new year. And yes, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.